this is fun. Where I come from, no one would ever give me a credit card. Whoop, swipe. With every purchase I make, I am trying to escape something. I'm trying to prove something to myself. I'm trying to hide from something. Trying to get out of this almost addiction, almost like a thrill-seeking behavior that I know doesn't do anything good for me, but yet I chase it. It was like my future self had the responsibility to figure it out and clean all the mess that I created now. And I'm done. Hi guys, this is Dee from Living With Me. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time. So, as the title says, I want to talk about why and how I got into the position of going to these quite lavish and beautiful destination vacations that I couldn't really afford. A quick side note, the reason I want to emphasize this video is because all the videos I came across that spoke about excessive spending usually were tied to buying cars, buying luxury items like homes that you can't afford, buying shoes, buying handbags, buying clothes that you can't afford. But no one really focused on a trap that is vacations, because we always excuse that expense with, oh, I'm not just spending money on a trip, I'm buying an experience. And that is, I think, where the problem lies. You can build experience in your backyard. You can build experience by going on a free camping trip. But I, at least, have always excused my expensive trips with buying experiences of a lifetime. Nothing wrong with that. I will truly be buying expensive experiences in the forms of trips, but I will choose how I budget for them and how I pay for them. And this is why I want to share with you why I regret all of my trips. Why next time I will do it differently. I believe that living paycheck to paycheck is somewhat of a lifestyle. None of us wants it, but yet we somehow end up there. I remember, I still live that way. I know that every time I get paid, I feel like, yes, you know, the influx of the pay, it hits me and I'm happy about it, but I almost feel like I have to spend it. It's almost like someone's holding a gun under my ribs saying, quickly, quickly, spend it, otherwise, it's not good. And I know in theory, and my logic knows that the opposite is true. I should keep money, I should save money. I'm not capable of doing so. And I did think about this for a long time, and my conclusion is that the longer we spend in a certain feeling and in a certain behavior, the more likely that we won't know how to get out of it, and it almost becomes like what's it called, the Stockholm effect, Stockholm syndrome, where you know you need to escape but you somehow can't. You're scared, you're used to the situation, you feel comfortable in it almost, although you know it makes every fiber of your being uncomfortable. And that is how I feel about money. You know the saying, you marry your parent, you marry your father or your mother, in the sense of we are used to their habits, and although we maybe didn't like how our father treated us or our mother treated us, we most likely ended up with someone very similar to them. This is how I see money. It's almost like, because I'm so used to this behavior, I want to get out of it, but I can't. So how did I end up going to all of these vacations and beautiful destinations when I really couldn't afford it? I don't know how to explain this better, but it's almost like I'm excited when my checking account goes to zero or really low to zero, because it's almost like internally I feel, oh great, now I don't have to budget because there's nothing to budget. And I know budgeting is the right way, but I don't know if I feel it's too much work. Maybe I don't want to look into the devil's eyes, maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of excuses and it's a lot of responsibility, which I don't want. And me swiping my credit card, me getting a loan, me going on those vacations that I can't truly afford is a way of escapism. And I think I did it because it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like I'm escaping my life. It makes me feel like I have something to show. And although I'm not someone who's sharing stuff actively on Instagram, and I really couldn't care less if someone sees that I travel or not, but I think one little part of me still wants to show that, oh look, I'm in Barcelona. Oh look, I'm in fill in the blanks. I truly do it for me and my family. I love to travel, and that's really a category that I spend a lot of money on. And I think that there'll be a category once I'm hopefully soon debt-free that I'll still be spending money, but I'll only do it a little smarter. I'll spend the money that I have. If I have cash, I'll do it. Obviously, I'll have to have savings in place, and if all of those categories are in place, and if all of those systems are in place, I will then give cash for a vacation. I will not put it in a card. I will not borrow money from a bank for it. I just won't do that anymore, because in the end of the day, you go to that beautiful destination and pardon me, yes, you have a great time, but all you kind of feel is a pit in your stomach thinking, oh my god, when I swipe, will my card go through? I don't even know how I got there. I don't even know. What void am I trying to fill? What is it? You know, I also think I did it because I wanted to give my son a great experience. I didn't want him to be in Brooklyn, New York over the summer because it's freaking hot as hell on this New York concrete. I don't think it's fun, but I also think it's more important that I teach him lessons about budgeting and financing and give him financial literacy, because the school won't for sure, and it's my responsibility to do so. So instead of going every summer and traveling, it's better I teach him so we get out of this forsaken, terrible situation sooner than we can travel for cash. I think that's better than just, you know, because now he doesn't know. He just thinks, oh, we have the money, we go. Which is wrong. It's not a life lesson that I want to leave him with. So next summer we most likely won't go anywhere. This October we're going to Provincetown because I already paid for the stay and paid for some tickets to do whale watching, so that's it. And it wasn't too expensive, it was about $400, but again, that's a poor mindset. It is, $400 is a lot of money because I don't have them without budgeting and planning. So other reasons overspend, and I overspent on all these vacations, is because I didn't want to face the devil, as I said earlier, and really look at my finances and say, hey, honey, you can't afford this at the moment. So I'm referring mostly to really all of my travels. Way before I even started YouTube, we went every summer to Europe. Now granted, we have no family in America, so, pardon me, we went to see family and friends, but we would also spend the whole summer there. And my husband worked remotely, so we would spend time working from there. Actually, majority of time I took unpaid to go. My husband worked from home even while we were there, and we would be there, and yes, it was beautiful. We created beautiful memories, but a lot of these things I paid on a credit card. You know, I remember buying tickets for our last trip for Barcelona. We went on this destination wedding, and the people that got married are my husband's best friends. The groom is, and there's no way we would have said no. But now thinking back, yes, we had a great time, but at the same time, I now have a credit card debt of $10,000+ because of it. That's not normal, and it makes me sick, and it needs to stop. So I think with every purchase I make, I am trying to escape something. I'm trying to prove something to myself. I'm trying to hide from something. I'm trying to tell myself that it's a vacation, it's traveling, it's great, it's learning. It is true, but At what cost? At what cost? At what cost? So, other than the October trip of 5 days to Provincetown, I most likely won't go on any vacations for a long time, pardon me, and instead, when we spend the summer in New York, we'll go camping. That's free, other than paying for food and gas. And it's beautiful. It literally resets my soul. I think it's worth it. We're going to make it happen. We'll be fine. There's no war right now where I live, so, you know, everything else is possible. I feel like also, I have removed myself a lot from the mindset of, hey, nothing's burning, we live in a free country, we can accomplish anything we want with our will and hard work and our own two hands. I moved more into, after 13 years of living in the United States, I moved towards the mindset of like, okay, it's fine, I'll put in a card. When I moved here, I didn't live like that for a little bit, and then I got my first credit card, and I just like, ooh, this is fun. Where I come from, no one would ever give me a credit card because, you know, I wouldn't even ask for one. So I'm now starting to think that people who maybe don't go on lavish vacations like I do are better off, because most likely they're not paying freaking thousands of dollars in debt like I do. And this is very freaking scary. I don't want to do this anymore. What's the conclusion of this video? I guess that I wanted to share that I regret paying all this money for these vacations. Months and months and thousands of dollars on trips and Airbnbs and hotels and flight fares and boat fares and car. Oh my god, we even bought a car. This may have been a smarter decision than renting. My brother lives in Germany, so we gave him money to buy us a used car. We gave him like $3,000. And he bought us a car, and every time we leave, he sells that car, and next time we come, we give him a little more money. He buys a better car because we gave him more money, and then again, he resells it. And that saved us a lot of money, because we all know how much renting a car costs. So since we're staying 2 months, we just have that car and use it, drive all around Europe, and, you know, give it back, and he sells it. And always manages to make something on the car, a little bit, a few €100. So we left that money with him. We always do. So next time we come, we don't have to think, oh, we have to give him money to buy us a car. He already has that money. All of that being said, the flight tickets, the hotels, the dinners, the events, all of that is not in my budget. And I only started budgeting recently, for the first time ever. And it put things into perspective. Oh my god, how much? Because in my last video, I did say that I don't live lavishly in general. I don't buy luxury items because I know I can't afford them. And I also don't kind of crave them. But I also know I can't afford a lavish trip, and I still spend money on it. So that's not an excuse. What I'm trying to say is that I am trying to get out of this almost addiction, almost like a thrill-seeking behavior that I know doesn't do anything good for me, but yet I chase it. Do you have the feeling when you get paid, you're like, oof, I have the money? It's almost like you're looking for places and items and things to spend it on, and it feels familiar and it feels good almost, but also bad at the same time. Well, with this video, what I'm trying to accomplish is to share my experience and how I am a shopaholic. But I'm not buying clothes, I'm buying trips and experiences, and trust me, it's just the same evil. The only good is that you have a good trip and a great experience, but the aftermath doesn't add up. So if you want to avoid this, I hope you learn from my video that this is your sign. Do not book those tickets if you can't afford them. If you have to put them on a credit card, you cannot afford it. Because think about this. You will purchase flight tickets, let's say they cost $2,000, $1,000 for simple math, it's just you. And you're about to click pay, and you know that that payment has to be made a month from the moment you purchased, right? Or whenever your card is due. What are the chances that you already, on that same credit card, have a bunch of money that you already have accumulated as debt, plus that $1,000? Now you're way beyond $1,000 in debt. That was my situation, at least. It was never, oh, I have this one card, I will just use it for a big trip or something, and then immediately I'll pay it. Or I'll give it a week and then I'll pay it, because I have the cash. That was never my situation. However, my situation was that I will swipe and say, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It was like my future self had the responsibility to figure it out and clean all the mess that I created now. And all these years, all these expenses, all the drama, and I didn't learn anything. This is why I'm so mad and so upset and so frustrated at myself. I'm not expecting anyone to teach me or guide me, but how was I so dumb to not see that I'm making myself poorer and I'm making someone else richer? And I will make a video, I promise, on the things that now that I started budgeting actively and being mindful about spending, the things that make me feel like, oh, stop, do not buy that, versus before, whoop, swipe. What? I'm frustrated, I'm mad, I want to get out of this situation that I put myself into, no one else. And I know a lot of the issues with this psychologically, a lot of the issues are related to me not having a lot of money historically. But now that I sit down and budget, I truly could have had money. Maybe not plenty, but enough to not get into this mess that I got myself into, credit card debt. Only if I sat down and budgeted, only if I had the discipline of freaking thinking before I swipe. What was I thinking? I don't know if you're in this situation, I don't want to offend anyone. You may be in worse debt than I am. You may be having different thoughts about this, but please share your thoughts if you have ever been in a situation like this, what you have done. I feel stupid. I truly feel stupid, and I want to be done. I think I'm so mad that I never want to be in this position again. Now when I see my paycheck come in, I want to assign every dollar to a job. I must. Because if I haven't spent all the money on expensive bags, shoes, and clothing, and don't live a luxurious life, where did my money go? You know, if you have a shoe addiction or a handbag addiction, I can understand. So in my case, yes, it's traveling. But I don't travel 365 days. You know, usually I will spend for a vacation and then I will pay it off in a whatever time frame. But then I would add more debt. On what? Because I don't travel 365 days a year. So I think it's my general dysfunction and my general addiction of having that thrill-seeking personality. And I'm done. I think this video is way longer than I expected it to be, than I planned it to be. But I want to be fully honest, fully transparent. I think a lot of us are in the same sauce, but I also think a lot of us have shame connected to this behavior. A lot of us haven't connected the dots. I certainly haven't for years, and I feel only now it's clicking. I don't want to die broke. I don't want to leave my child in debt. I don't want to not be able to give my child something, property, money, something, college fund. I don't want him to be in this position. Truly. I want to teach him that it's not about how much you make, it's about how you spend it and on what you spend it. Because trust me, I know there's a lot of you out there who make way more money than I do, that have 6 figures income and more, and yet live paycheck from paycheck to paycheck. Just like I know people who work, fill in the blanks, trade jobs. They're an auto mechanic, they are a construction worker, they are fill in the blanks, anything you can think of that you think is making a little money. I know those people too. However, I'm so sorry. This is probably a bank calling me to ask for their money, literally. Excuse me. Fill in the blank, fill in a job that you think makes a little money. And I know people like that who have saved so much money because they're freaking smart. Have no student debts, work hard just like you and I do, and live below their means. And have no need to prove to me, you or John or Susie that they live lavishly. What was I trying to prove? What are you trying to prove if you're in the sauce? Not attacking anyone here, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I have to wrap this up. This is getting too long. Thank you so much for watching. If you're stuck it up until now, thank you. That's all I can say. I hope you like this type of video. It's a rant, but I'm just frustrated. I need to save money on a therapist, so I'm talking to you. Anyway, I hope to see you in my next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and arrivederci. Bye!